right, let me check to see if I'm recording, and I think I am. I better be. All right, so that's just the deal. Let me get this brighter and brighter. Hi, everybody. This is Angelo Quinones, and this is not a Bible study. This has to do with, I would say, 7 people. 7 people. Okay. My brother, my sister, and 5 of the best friends that I have in the whole world. And that's saying a lot because I have a lot of friends here in the Philippines. Okay, I do. I mean, it used to not be the case in the United States. Usually, when your family gets older, they move or they die, which is the same thing. You move out anyway. You understand what I mean? And so that's just it. So it's basically about 5 people, including Obed. But I want to say right off the bat, this has nothing really to do with Obed. I have to mention him as a best friend because he's one of my best friends. But basically, I mean, he's in the clear. Why is he in the clear? I don't have no information on Obed to help him because that's what I'm doing. When I blast somebody or debate somebody or I expose somebody or whatever the case may be. It's just a hope. Listen, it is like 80 degrees with a little bit of wind here with no power in my house here today. So it's a brownout. They don't even call it a blackout. They call it a brownout, for God's sakes. You understand what I'm saying? It's like the Shadow Man on the Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. It was just it's a nice episode I saw yesterday. So that's just the deal. So Obed, if you're out there, I mean, you can listen to this if you want to. I mean, you're gonna hear your name because you're one of my best friends. The only information I have about you, Obed, is that, and this is, I'm gonna be talking about Denise. I'm gonna be talking about Greg. I'm gonna be talking about Gil. I'm gonna be talking about Mark. You understand what I'm saying? And Fernando and Jeanette, my brother and my sister. I have other brothers and sisters, half, brother and half sisters, and one sister I never even met. Okay, that's a long story right there. What happened to the first the mother of my half siblings, that flew the coop to be with another man to get more money in Puerto Rico and left my father and my half brother, my half sister, one of them cold, and took one baby and flew the coop. I mean, that's a long story. You could write a book on that. You understand what I'm saying? But this has to do with all my best friends. But I just have to say right off the bat, I have no information on Obed whatsoever, except, okay, that he's talking to a particular person that I'm not gonna get into. I don't understand why, so I can't get into it because I don't understand why. I don't talk about anything that I don't understand, that I don't know 100% sure, at least 90% like that. Okay? So that's not fair to him. So I'm not gonna whine, witch, and complain about Obed if I don't even know what's going on in his life. Except someone told me, I'm not gonna mention who, that when he comes here to the Philippines, and I don't know when that's gonna be, he wants to see me, and I would love to see Obed. I would like to go to the beach with him. I like to go to do things and stuff like that. He does owe me a dinner because I got him out of trouble. You understand what I'm saying? But that's just the deal. But I love Obed Vargas, man. And sometimes I'm too strong with my friends and stuff like that. But listen, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you need to be strong. Sometimes you need to lay off the gas a little bit. But I mean well. Okay, so but this has had nothing really to do with Obed, even though I have to mention him, one of my top friends in my whole life, and that's just 5 people, 5. And I can mention more. I can put more people in the pool. I mean, I don't consider Kathy a friend. I mean, she's a family member. I mean, even though she got to get her act together, but I consider her a dear friend, and even my niece-in-law Hannah a dear friend, even though they're family now. You see what I'm saying? I mean, so I got people here. I got a whole squad. I have a whole family here. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's not like New York that I was alone in a building. I mean, even though I have friends there, I mean, hello and goodbye and stuff like that. I mean, but I'm living chapter 2 of my life, and people don't even finish chapter 1. I'm in a completely different planet over here. Praise God for a reason I don't understand. I just want to say that right off the bat. So, Obed, I mean, you can listen to this all you want, but it has nothing to do with you negative wise. It's everything positive with Obed Vargas. But let me get to so let me mention my friends, which I did already. One of them anyway, Obed Vargas. Okay, who I met on the ministry line. He called me. You know what I mean? And Greg, I think Constantante is his last name, something like that. Anyway, um, and we met through Gil. I mean, he was going to the church that Gil used to go to, a Faith Baptist church, and so we did videos together and mock debates together, stuff like that, and got the YouTube gig going. So I owe him a lot. But he's a King James only dude, and so he's polluted. That's the thing I got against Greg, and I'll get into that. You understand what I'm saying? Then you have Denise Lenore, not to mention in any order, Denise Lenore, which I know way back from the 1970s in Lavelle School for the Blind. Okay, off and on. I mean, I used to not hang around girls and stuff like that. I wasn't interested in that. I was just interested in playing basketball, stuff like that, hanging around with the guys. I had girlfriends and stuff like that, but it was not really like that. I was a very shy guy. You understand what I'm saying? They wanted to hang around playing basketball, skipping class and stuff. You know the deal. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing evil, but just skipping class, and stuff like that. And especially when my father died, I used to skip a lot of class. So I know Denise Lenore, and then we met again and stuff like that. And I'll get into the topic of Denise Lenore. She's one of my best friends up there with everybody else that I just mentioned, with Obed and Greg. And then you have Mark from Missouri, which contributed a lot to this ministry. Let's just face it. I'll be lying to you through my teeth. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? And I still have 28 of my 32 teeth. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. The other one being wisdom teeth being extracted in the 1980s, and what hell that was. But Mark from Missouri, and we're not speaking, and I'll tell you why. And to the chagrin of my wife, because she had great fault in that. And then you have, okay, last but not the least, my best friend in the whole world, Gilberto Corona, which I know for 50 years this year. Even though I haven't been seeing him for the last 5 years, that doesn't cut away, time as a friend. It doesn't. So I met him in 1973 in the third grade, and the rest is history. He happens to be my best friend in the whole world. Okay, so I'll start with him. Gilberto Corona. Okay, Gilberto Corona. I met Gilberto Corona in the third grade in 1973 when I was in the third grade in Lavelle School for the Blind, the second year there. The first 2 years of my school days, okay, kindergarten and first grade, was in PS 53, of all places in the Bronx. And then they switched me because they noticed that, this little kid had bad eyesight, so you have to go to Lavelle School for the Blind, and I did. You know what I'm saying? So I met Gil there in the third grade, and he has been my buddy ever since. I mean, he's my best friend. Of everybody that I mentioned, everyone, okay, he happens to be my best friend because of the years. Because he's, it's just that it's hard to put somebody over Gil because of the longevity of the friendship. And then we didn't have a lot of problems. We did have problems, but we didn't have a lot of problems to boot. And I trust him with my life. You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, and he's a Christian person. So, I mean, you put that all together, I mean, he's number one, even though there are other, probably a Christian, I know Obed is, but outside of Obed, maybe other Christian people in the pool of friends that I mentioned. You understand what I'm saying? I consider, the people in Atian's office a friend. Not close because I don't know them, but, I consider them friends now. I mean, like that. You know what I mean? All right. Now, Gil was, unfortunately, Gil met a person, and I don't want to get into the details because it's not fair. But somebody took advantage of him, an older woman took advantage of him, okay? And there was sin involved, okay? Because she gave him, either narcotics or got him drunk or whatever the case may be. And, she sinned against, she violated Gil. Let's just put it like that. She violated Gil. You understand what I'm saying? And then God, took her off this planet shortly after that. Okay, she said to Denise Lenore, tell Angelo not to put any posts against me because I'm going to take him to the cops. Well, that wasn't going to happen because she died, like soon after she violated Gil. But I told Gil to get out of that relationship, and he didn't want to listen to me. You understand what I'm saying? But then God cut it off by, cutting short the life of this individual, Nancy, that was sinning against God by taking advantage of a totally legally blind person in Gilberto Corona. But outside of that, I never really had any problems with Gil at all. I mean, this woman gets into his life, and having a husband, she was looking at Gil. So she was really the instigator of the whole crime and stuff like that. And Gil was just there for the ride, even though he has to give an account for what happened, you know. So, but Gil, I mean, outside of that, Gil has been a wonderful friend who knows the scriptures, who evangelizes and things like that. And so I mean, Gil is just a sweet, sweet, dear brother. Let's get into the topic of Greg Constantante, King James only dude. Listen, you can't be going against the cult and you're in the cult yourself. You can't do that. That's hypocrisy. You understand what I'm saying? You can't go against the JWs and the Mormon Church and the Catholic Church and call them a cult, and then you're in a worse cult in a sense, to a certain degree, being in a King James only cult. Separating churches, separating pastors, talking ill against great men of the faith, talking evil against certain translations of the Bible that happen to be great, NASB, NIV, CEV, or whatever the case may be, ESV, and all these translations that are good translations. And you're talking about committees and stuff like that, and talking about people who died in these new translation committees and stuff like that. And look what happened to King James and his son, by the way. Look what happened to King James' son. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, the guy was put to death for like insurrection or something like that. Come on, man, you can't make it up. So, everything that you say against our committees and our translations, stuff like that. Well, I mean, the few people died during the King James only translation, King James translation. It's a wonderful Bible, but when you have people, okay, worshiping a Bible and not worshiping God and separating brothers at the same time and separating friendships. We had a great friendship, me and Greg. I mean, I would say great, but very healthy, very good. I mean, he did go to my mother's funeral. I'll never forget that. He used to take me to church. He used to take me to Casco's after church sometimes. Get me these big hot dogs and stuff like that, and I'll never forget that. But this idea that you go against the cults and stuff like that, and which one, and complain about them, but then you're in a worse thing sometimes, though, because the pollution, the sin is in the church. When they're talking about in the King James only controversy, they don't talk about Jesus. They talk about the King James only ism. You understand? When you have the deity of Christ more in one of the NIVs and the name of Jesus in one of the NIVs, I say because there's so many NIVs. I think like the 1984, 1978, or whatever translation has Jesus recorded more than the King James by a count of 1,241 to 971 times. There's an issue with the hypocrisy of the King James only cult sect. It's not being truthful. It's not being accurate. And I used to believe that from Greg. I used to say, yeah, oh, wow. I knew nothing about the King James only controversy. I wasn't well schooled. I didn't know the players in the game. I mean, I didn't know, too much Greek at that time, okay, to go against him, like using autos against him, replacing the word Jesus. But then at the same time, I didn't, know until I did the homework that Jesus is found and recorded more, more in the NIV, one of the NIVs, in at least one of the King James, let's be fair, by that count of 270 times more. I mean, and then not only that, Pascha being translated to Easter. If we had Easter in our Bibles, they'll be crucifying us. You understand what I'm saying? They have it in theirs. They don't give two hoots in hell about it. You understand? And then you have, Turtles Talking and Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 12. And then, what's his face? I forgot his name, but the one that I debated is on my first YouTube channel. He said, well, God could cause any animal to talk and stuff. That's not the issue. The issue is that the proper translation? That's the issue. We all know that he made a donkey speak against the enemies of Israel. You understand what I'm saying? So that's not the issue. That's not the topic. The topic is that the proper translation? Along with, Jesus dying before he went to the cross in the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 5, verse 30 is the wrong translation. Whereas the Holy Spirit, he's missing in verse 25 of chapter 4 of the same book. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, you fight for the right to party having Lucifer in your translations. Why you want to have Lucifer so much? If we had him in ours, well, you'd be, crying out bloody soup. They don't understand the Greek word autos that took the place of Jesus at times and stuff like that. But we still have them more in our translation, at least in one of them anyway, one of the NIVs, than in yours. By a count of 270 times, almost 300 times. It's not even close. And I could go on. This is not a King James only thing. I guess I could do a study on that. I do have one in my second channel, Angelo Rucci Quinones, RUCCI. You understand what I'm saying? And I have debates and campaigns. And I'm going to have the debate that me and Greg have up there. It's going to be edited and stuff like that. So I have to put bits and pieces together to make a full debate out of it, you know? So I'll let him speak, and then I'll let, and then he's going to be using, things from the internet and stuff like that. Not even his ideas. He's going to be spitting out things, articles and stuff like that are found in the computer. But I'll let him say, and then I'll have my say. And then that'll be up there. And then, I mean, listen, we have a video that's almost 9,000 views. So we worked well together. We wasn't the best of friends. I'm not going to say that. But we had this is a nice friendship. Nice. Wasn't great. It wasn't warm. It wasn't, it wasn't a Jonathan, a David relationship. By no means. That's me and Gil. That's, I would say, me and Obed sometimes, okay, like that. You know what I'm saying? That's even me and Mark to a certain degree. So, but me and Greg, I mean, we didn't have that type of relationship. I mean, it was okay because he's not a, he's not a cheerful guy. He's not a bubbly personality that you can rub shoulders with like that. Like he's more like Chip on Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. A very serious dude. He reminds me of Patterson in that show a lot because they speak alike. So I might use the picture of Patterson, okay, to sort of, fill up the picture slot that's missing. And I could have easily had Greg with my spy technology. I could have had a photograph of him in the car when he was driving me, but I never had that. I haven't had that chance. I didn't have that chance, And he's not on social media, so I can't pull up his picture anywhere, So that's just the deal. So I just use Patterson. The poor Patterson, he'll be up there. He probably look alike. Who knows? So that's Greg and Gil. Wonderful friendship with Gil. Nice, cordial relationship with Greg. But I don't understand how somebody could be so paralyzed in that movement if you know the details. So I mean, there's no excuse, and he's gonna have to give an account with that when he dies one day. That's just I've been saying that all the time. I've been saying that. So I mean, so that's just the deal. Let's get to Obed. Obed was a person that I met online or on the phone on my ministry phone, and he called, and then that was several years ago. I mean, that must have been like maybe 8 years by now. I think like something like that. I don't know. It must have been something like that. I mean, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I got to look back at the recordings and see his first call and see the year because they'll have the year on the video information. The details. You understand what I'm saying? So that'll pop up, and even Mark. The distance is what really sort of prevented us from meeting each other. He was in California. I was in New York City. He's in California. I'm in New York City. I was in New York City at the time. I'm in the Philippines now. So that didn't help. His wife, bitching and whining and complaining about him being on the phone in certain hours didn't help either. I was always there for him. He was always there for me. And I mean, always. I mean, unreliable at times, though. I have to put that in there. He could say I'm bitchy and stuff like that. Okay, fine. I'll put that in there too. I'll be fair. I expect a lot out of my friends. So when I tell you to show up at an appointment on Saturday and you have me all day hanging out waiting for your telephone call and it never comes until 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock or whatever the case may be, and I say yo Obed, I mean I've been waiting for you. I didn't even go out doing in order to do my things. I've been waiting for you to interview you, to have books all around the living room. It looked like a library and looked like an auction, literally. and then you don't show up. Oh, well, I was with my wife outside. Yeah, but all you had to do is give me a simple phone call or text, and I wouldn't have been waiting. I would have did my stuff and stuff like that, not waiting for you. That's very irresponsible. And so I was gonna not really say anything about Obed, but it has to do nothing with now. It's just that I just have to be honest that our friendship was a nice relationship. Also, um, I felt more endearment to him because he's like my son in the faith, because he came to the ministry and he was born again. Because of the ministry, giving the word of God, who's Jesus. Maybe it's not the only ministry that he had a contact with, but it was one of the most important ones that shaped, okay, his faith. So I mean, I owe him, and he owes me a tremendous amount, and he knows that. Friends that know that they owe me, they know that they owe me. Nobody has to tell them. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about, respect. He owes me respect because I was there when he didn't know where to go, or whatever the case may be. He could tell you more perfectly than me. But I'm just saying that's the only thing that I have against Obed that we have problems with. Basically, is unreliability. And if it happens to him when he has a ministry, then he'll understand how I felt. He doesn't have a ministry, at least that I know of now, so he doesn't know how I feel. And he never been the pastor's right hand man, and that you have to understand that you have to be reliable and accountable and stuff like that, and show up and all, whatever the case may be. When I was listen, when somebody wanted to interview him on a radio podcast or whatever it was, he showed up. When I was going to be interviewed by this person, I forgot what it was, I showed up on time. Okay? That's what you do. You show up. You don't say, oh, you give these excuses and stuff like that. Oh, well, I had to go out with my wife. No, it's not like that though, because we're working for Jesus. We're not working for each other, for each other. You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, but I mean, he's a dear, dear friend, and when I count him one of my dearest friends out up there with Greg, and I'm sorry, with Gil and Denise. So that's just it. And a lot of good things to say about Obed. He helped me tremendously, and my wife, and my child Anna. Sean wasn't born at the time. He was just born. It's gonna be 9 months ago. Uh, so he sent me assistance from California. He actually gave me permission to use his address because my card wasn't getting here. My bank card wasn't getting here. And I used his address via his permission to get, to tell the bank to get the card over to his house. And then he mailed it over here. That was a tremendous help. That was one of the greatest assistance that I got, probably the greatest assistance ever, except for my brother, sending me help to fix an issue with the bank closing my account when I came here, because they saw that it was very suspect, very suspicious activity going on in the Philippines with my account, so they closed it. And then my brother helped me. Those two helps were, we would have been in trouble if it wasn't for Fernando Obed helping me out. So I understand that, and I am saying it now. And there's a lot of other things I could say about Obed, that are very nice things. We had a lot of conversations, a lot of recorded conversations, a lot of debates, but some of those debates are not recorded. A lot of Bible studies together and stuff like that. A lot of discussions about his wife, and when he needed me, I was there. When she went gambling and all this stuff, and he was there by himself in the house and stuff like that, and all this other stuff. So I mean, he's just a dear friend, and I can't wait. I really, in Jesus' name, I can't wait till he comes over. I know I'm gonna cry. I know I'm gonna hold him, like the teddy bear that he is, because we have that. Even though we had a lot of issues, I count him as a sort of a Jonathan, sort of relationship. You understand what I'm saying? Which is a very good relationship. All right, now let's get into Mark's details. Well, Mark from Missouri met me the same way via the telephone hotline. It's like the bat phone. You understand what I'm saying? And I Am Ministries, uh, you know, deal, gig, if you will. You understand what I mean? So he called me, and he's a JW. Now Obed was a Jehovah's Witness. Now he's a born again Christian, and Mark is still a witness, I think. And I can't say enough about Mark because we debated every single topic that a Jehovah's Witness debates against Christian people. And almost every single debate, almost every single issue we have dealt with. Almost every single issue, except for the blood transfusion. I mean, it wasn't really a big debate. It's a recording there, a couple of recordings I could piece up together and stuff like that, make a little tiny debate out of it and campaign. But it's not really. I mean, we didn't get into that issue. That's a very big issue. We got into that issue, but not a full-fledged debate. You understand what I'm saying? The holiday debate, the John 1:1 debate, the image of God debate, the Hebrews 1:8 debate. I mean, we got into John 1:18 scene debate. Listen, he has contributed with me probably close, if not more than 100 debates and thousands of voice text discussions on Messenger, the thousands and other messages that I have recorded. So I hope that you guys could pray for me that God will give me life enough to put these things up there as my stomach growls. You understand what I'm saying? Up there on YouTube. You know what I mean? So that's just it. So I hope I have the time to put these things up there. But he lives in Missouri. And he says he has 3 children. He says that he's married. I never spoke to his wife ever. I mean, I don't know what she's hiding at. I mean, probably the witness protection program. You know what I'm saying? So I never saw her. I never met her. I never spoke to her. I mean, I spoke to Greg's wife. I met her in person. I spoke to Obed's wife, soon to be ex. Okay. I met these people. But I haven't met, I haven't even spoken on the phone to Mark's wife, so I don't know what the hell she is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. I mean, does he have her, chained on the bed, or what the heck is going on? You know what I'm saying? In the basement, and where'd she at? She's sleeping. Come on, man, get off of it, man. But anyway, he says he's married, so I mean, you have to respect that. You know what I'm saying? Let me just, hit that. So anyway, I mean, we have many discussions off topic, meaning other things except for other than the Bible, Star Wars and stuff like that. And I don't know how JW could witch whine and complain, can bitch whine and complain about Halloween and then watch Star Wars. So it's kind of hypocritical. You understand what I'm saying? It's just a little bit of hypocrisy. That you're looking at Yoda's face, and then you're not, celebrating Halloween. I don't celebrate Halloween that way. I celebrate Halloween in the sense that we conquer the day and celebrate the way we celebrate it in church, having the kids put their costumes on of Peter, Mary, Ruth, or whatever the case may be, and conquer the day. We have to do something with the day, so we kind of stamp out the darkness a little bit. And then when the church is not doing that, then the darkness wins because they're doing their activities and we're not doing nothing on that day. And so the kids in the church feel bad that they're not participating in parties and stuff like that because there's no parties in the church. We don't have to, excuse me, guys, we don't have to celebrate the same thing, but we just conquer the day and change it. Just change it into a celebration, All Saints Day, like that, or whatever the case may be, but celebrate it though. If you don't celebrate it, well, the kids are gonna, oh man, Halloween candy. Why we can't do that in the church? Because it's not of darkness. So that's why. But we don't have nothing to replace it. But anyway, but we had a lot of discussions. The Trinity debate. So many debates and campaigns and stuff like that. Okay. The only true God debate. I mean, so we did it. Basically, we did it all. Praise God. He gets the glory, not me. And so not us. But I count her as a dear friend. But, as I spoke about Obed, I mean, I have to dime on my wife. She, we needed money for the CAT scan and the hospital bills and stuff like that. And EKG or whatever it is, so like a CAT scan or something, whatever had to do with the head of Anna, and she was younger at the time. We needed like I think it was $2,000 or something like that, and then so she knew that Mark allegedly has money, so she begged me by using tears, by crying to me, please call Mark. I said, honey, he's not gonna give. Don't call Mark. He's not going to give. He didn't get to me when he promised to give us about a year ago, and he went back on his promise. And then he promised me he asked me, "Oh, Angelo, can I do anything for you before you leave to go to the Philippines?" I said, "Well, I mean, I don't like to ask Mark, but if you want to contribute, some luggage money and stuff yeah, okay, definitely. I'm going to do that for you, man. I'm going to call you before you leave." And blah. He never helped at all. Never, ever. He lied to me now 3 times. And if it wasn't for my wife begging, me to call Mark, and then, I mean, he said, "Oh, my wife is online, oh, but my wife was busy, she couldn't do it," and he swore to the living God. He said, "I swear on Jehovah's name, I'm going to help you." He never did. Okay? He never did. He lied to my baby, he lied to me, and he lied to my wife. Face. Okay? Panim. Apostle Pan, you understand what I'm saying? He lied right to our faces. Hamon prosopon, or whatever it is. You understand what I'm saying? El panim, our faces. You understand what I'm saying? Or panimu, something like that. Anyway, in Hebrew, but he lied to us. And if it wasn't for her begging me, I would have been talking to Mark right now. That's the thing about this bitching, wanting, and complaining and lying. I mean, and crying and stuff like that. To me, because it messed up our relationship and messed up the relationship that we had together. We were debating the issues. We were. Though I wasn't really speaking to him in a while, though, but we were, because sometimes I put him in purgatory, you know what I'm saying? But was still, he was going to get out of purgatory and he was going to get back to debating me and stuff like that. But this killed our relationship, man. I haven't spoken to Mark. It's going to be 3 years this year. It's going to be like 2 years and a half this year, or something? 2 years? Or maybe it's going to be 2 years this year that I haven't spoken to the dude. It killed the relationship, man. Be careful what your wife tells you to do. Oh, please call Mark because we need for the baby. I said, listen, we'll get it done. Don't worry. We'll get it done. God is going to provide. You have to trust in the Lord. You can't be singing about God and not trusting in Him and stuff like that. It doesn't go like that. You understand? Well, you got to practice what you sing. All these Christian songs and stuff like that, and my wife sings and stuff like that. You know. Now you got to practice not only what you preach, but what you sing. You know what I mean? Sorry, I got a very bad cold. It's almost asthmatic, So that's just the deal. So she ruined a great friendship. I don't know if I'm ever going to speak to him ever again because he lied about paying for. Now, he didn't have to do it. We didn't force him to do it and stuff like that, but he completely lied about sending help for our special child. You can't do stuff like that. You don't do you don't do stuff like that though, man. You can't do that stuff. You can't. How would you like that if somebody lied to you about your special child and he or she was going to help and never did and left you cold? Come on, we can't do that. So, we got a loan by via Atian. She works in a loan company, and then we got a $2,000 loan. That was my first loan ever in that company. And so that helps for the MRI, the CAT scans, the hospital visitations, the vans that we use to go there and stuff and come back and stuff like that. And there were about like 4 of us going, me, Riza, and then Mama, and then Kathy. That was 4 people. And then the food that we had to eat on the way, when we took a break and stuff like that, and blah blah blah. That was almost $2,000 that we spent doing all that stuff. You understand what I'm saying? And I said, "Hun, every time that I wanted God to provide for me, He always provided. He's not going to stop now. Oh, no, call Mark, please." Okay, there you go. You see? Mud in your eye. Because you didn't listen to me. You understand what I'm saying? But Mark, I love Mark, though. I still love Mark. I have him like, I can't call him a son in the faith like Obed because he's not in the faith yet. But it's like to that degree. It's like I was his, big brother mentor or something like that. I love Mark dearly, though. Dearly. He's one of my 5 friends, and I never met him like Obed. I'm going to be meeting Obed, God willing. Godspeed on the airplane and stuff like that. I know what it takes to come here. 15 hours, at least my My gig was 15 hours on the first flight and then 4 hours on the second flight. That's how I traveled. He's in California. I'm in New York. It's gonna be different for him. You understand what I'm saying? It might be longer or shorter. I don't know. You know. Let's get to Denise Lenore. All right. Denise was somebody that was entrusted to me by Gil. I mean, he set up the friendship. He said that she needs to work. She's rough around the edges. That's to put it nicely. I mean, she doesn't have a good attitude, but I mean, you'll love her as a friend, and then you'll help her. I trust you with the Bible and mentoring her, and she's gonna grow, and she did, for the most part. You understand what I'm saying? Now, having sex with somebody in Daytona, didn't help the issue. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, going to Daytona Beach and having sex with somebody and then confessing to me about it, well, that killed any relationship that we would have had. I mean, this was before I met Riza. First of all, I wasn't in love with her, so that wasn't going to happen. I can't be with somebody that I'm not in love with. I don't know about you. I can't do it. I'm going to be getting up with the person every morning. I have to be totally in love with that person in order to have a marriage with a person. Okay? So I wasn't in love with her. I wasn't in love with Day. I wasn't in love with Rachel. That's why I'm not married to any of those people. You understand what I'm saying? It wasn't going to work. I'm not going to be miserable. I'm not going to be looking at somebody's face and knowing that I don't love the person. Not that I don't love the people. I wasn't in love. It's a completely different thing. And, she was somebody that said hello and goodbye to, not even probably, way back in the 1970s, 80s, and stuff like that in Lavelle School for the Blind. And then I never saw her again since 83. I mean, but it wasn't even a friend, basically, in school. It was just somebody in school that I knew that had glasses on after that. I mean, I didn't know nothing about the dame. I didn't know nothing about Denise. She was just there, She wasn't one of my best friends. She wasn't even a friend. So I can't say I was her friend for more than 50 years or whatever it is, like Gil, because I knew Gil. I went to the same class with him, we were buddies, we were pals, you know what I'm saying? We were in the same class for the most part until, there was a little bit of a separation, and stuff like that, what I'm saying? And then I went to Rochester, New York, and went back down and stuff like that, like that, you understand what I'm saying? But the thing is that Denise was entrusted to me by Gil to be a friend and to be for me to be a mentor over her. So we studied the Bible together on the phone. And yes, we had thoughts of a relationship, but that never panned out because of her, being almost 60 years of age at the time, like 52 or whatever, but now she's almost getting up there to being 60. But being over 50 years old and still under the apron strings of your mother and under the pants of your father. I mean, you can't live like that, man. You're a grown up. So I couldn't be with a dame like that. First of all, I wasn't in love with her, and second of all, I mean, she had, her mother and father were too close to her. And then recently, I'm not speaking to her for a very long time. I'm talking about years. And recently, my mother and my father, they don't want me speaking to you, so get lost. You're still under the apron strings, as the strings, I should say, of your mommy and daddy. Well, get lost. I don't need a relationship like that, though, man. So I'll help you. I'll block you myself. And I wonder how she feels with all the arguments that we had on the Donald Trump issue. That he's not a Christian, that he wasn't a good president, that he was a louse, he was a thief, he was a fraud. You understand what I'm saying? So I wonder how she feels now that is out there, it's public knowledge, and him giving hush money, okay, to this woman, to this porn star, having sex with her while being married. That's a Christian person? That's a Christian person? Defend that. $130,000 of probably campaign funds, okay, being used for hush money, hushing her up so she won't spill the beans during the 2016 election that would have killed probably his campaign. You understand what I'm saying? but she doesn't give two hoots in hell about it. I mean, this is Denise Lenore. Denise Lenore, we did some projects together and stuff like that. Some um, counter Mormon videos to help people not get into the Mormon movement and stuff like that. Just against them. And so we did some kid videos and some Bible studies and some commentaries on election and predestination or whatever the case may be. And so we did a lot of Bible studies together, and a lot of things were born because she would ask me a question. I would get into a topic. So I have a lot of recordings of us and myself doing Bible studies on issues that would be brought up by Denise Lenore. And I mean, she sent me Bibles, and I sent her things also. I'm not going to give her the list of things that I sent her. I mean, she was in Florida, I was in New York. It was easy to send, you know. But she sent me the Apologetics Bible, the New King James Study Bible, the Names of God Bible. I mean, she sent me it's a host of things. And her sister is a very sweet person. But my beef and complaint was that they're not going to church. You have to go to church. And then when I confronted her with the issue, she said, "Would you stop nagging me? Would you stop forcing me and stuff like that?" Acting like a normal unbeliever. When an unbeliever says to somebody that you're not walking uprightly, the antagonism is like that, And she was speaking to that degree. Very wonderful person, though. She sent me help over here also when we were speaking a long time ago. It was over 2 years ago, like Obed. She sent me a lot of things, Western Union and stuff like that. So she has helped me tremendously, but not, just because people help me and stuff like that doesn't mean that I'm not going to speak the truth. Nobody buys me. Nobody buys me off. Nobody bribes me. You understand what I'm saying? No matter how much you help me and stuff like that, if I see something going on in your life that I need to make you accountable, okay, I'm gonna let you know about it. You're not going to church. You're not gonna go to church, but you go to Air Supply concert. You're gonna go to Air Supply concert to such a degree that she had bad conscience about it. She said, "Well, next time I'm going to go to a Christian concert." No, but on the Sunday she went to a Air Supply concert, and she had a habit of going to the beach house, but not to the place of God. You understand what I'm saying? You understand? So that's just it. I mean, there's a lot of things that I didn't like about Denise. That's why we were never together. That's why we never got married, because of her, immaturity, her attitude, her mouth, and these things were present at the time that I kind of put her under my tutelage. Tutelage. You understand what I'm saying? But I get upset with people that I spend so much time studying the Bible with, and they should be better. I don't want perfection. I want people to be better. And I spend all this time and stuff like that, and you're going to still be the same? I mean, get lost, man. Come on, man. And then you're going to say you're going to put Donald Trump over our friendship? What the hell has he ever done for you? So, Denise Lenore, I mean, it's unfortunate, but that friendship is not going anywhere positive. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. I'm going to leave off speaking about my brother and my sister, but I would mention something about my brother Fernando. I mean, you can't have back surgery to take a tumor out of your back, and then you're gonna bitch, whine, and squeal about me not getting in touch with you fast enough. That's not like that, because if you don't know the circumstances, that I made 2 very long videos way before you complained, and I was going to send them to you, but I said, well, these things are too long, so he's never going to listen to them anyway, because he always has a custom. He was bitching, whining, and complaining about me not, contacting him and stuff like that, and called me a disgrace and stuff like that I'm not contacting him. But you never look at my emails anyway. You always say you don't have time to look at the photos of my children. You don't have time to look at the photos of me, or whatever the case may be, or read my or see my things on YouTube. You never had time. Well, when I have time, so then all of a sudden you want me to send you stuff, thinking that you're gonna have time for them. Even though I did record these things and they were very long, so I said I'm not gonna send them. So the days slipped by, and then he's bitching one and complaining about me not getting to him fast enough. Come on, get lost. I mean, I should complain about you having all the things that you took out of my apartment by me giving you permission so they could be stored up in your house, and you haven't even sent me them yet, and it's gonna be 5 stinking years, and that's telling me that my brother Fernando Quinones and Brian Quinones took all the stuff for themselves and had no plan to send me those things, or he has them in the house, knowing that I'm probably gonna get a separation for a reason one day, and stuff like that. And he's not even sending them because I'm gonna be back anyway. But he never told me that, so I'm thinking the first thing is in vogue. You understand what I'm saying? Great brother, wonderful, wonderful human being. We went through it all: the death of our mom, the death of our father, arguments, fights. I mean, we went through it all. Misunderstandings, or whatever the case may be. And so, but he was always there for my mother. He was always there for me, giving me 10 gifts in Christmas and 10 gifts for my birthday, and 10 gifts of Christmas gifts for my mother and stuff like that, and towels and medicine books and this and that and whatever the case may be, video games for me and movies and all this other stuff. And I was there for him too. I remember him giving him a train set that he wanted and a whole bunch of stuff. So that's another video altogether about Fernando. Being born in 1964 and in 1963, and being the best brother in the world that a brother could never have. But nothing's perfect. That's the problem with of sinful people. And so I wonder, hello. Hi, what do you need, Mare? I can't hear you, Mare. Speak up, 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 up.
I'm going to cook.
Gonna cook what? What are you gonna cook? Come here, Malo. What's that? What's that, banana? So you don't got no banana over there in the house?
Wait.
I would love some banana, Malo. What's wrong? You sick? I'm sorry, guys.
Plátano?
Yeah. Yeah, I would love that. But cook that first for you? All right. What's wrong? You sick or something? Why you get up so late? You have to get up and running, when you go to college and when you work and stuff, huh? You have nice pants. I like those pants. Who's that, your mother's pants or yours?
It's broken.
It's broke? I'll buy you another one next month. Just remind me. You're going for your dentist appointment anyway. I told your mother, okay? All right, so let me finish up. So anyway, those are my best friends, okay? Denise. Well, let me put them in order. Just time, not in importance, but time. Who I met first and stuff like that. Gil, Denise, Greg, Mark, and Obed. That's chronological order. Not in importance, but just the who, spoke to me first or met me first in my life. You understand what I'm saying? But to Denise Lenore, I mean, how do you like Trump? He's gonna be arrested, man. You can't make it up. That's your superhero. That's your Trumpy guy. And knowing her, she's still gonna defend his rear end. He just made a statement that puts New York in danger. Well, take our country back and protest. Come on, you can't do that, man. Knowing what happened in the Capitol, okay, Denise. Knowing what happened in the Capitol, you're gonna say the same thing in New York City. I don't know if he was in New York at the time or in Florida, but he's going to say the same thing. So you have all the police departments all around the United States on alert. You have all the Secret Service on alert and stuff like that because he's a bitch. So that's your Christian Republican leader. That's a Christian. One who sleeps with a porn star, you know what I'm saying? Having sex with her and then shutting her up by giving her $130,000 of campaign funds. You understand what I'm saying? And you still like the guy. That's where you're gone, Denise, if you're listening to this. You understand what I'm saying? Because I can't take you no more. I can't take the hypocrisy, man. Of course you like him. You don't go to church. That's why you like people like that. You don't like people like me, but maybe you will ask George what he thinks about Trump. a so-called ex-pastor or whatever, she hanging around him and stuff like that. This Denise Lenore, this person that calls herself a Christian. You understand what I'm saying? Having sex with somebody in Daytona Beach about 6 years ago. When I heard that, I said, "The hell with this relationship, man. This ain't gonna work." You know what I mean? Can't rely on that. You can't rely on somebody. I mean, she was working in the ministry. Not working, getting paid and stuff like that, but a volunteer. And she's going to go on Daytona Beach and do that and stuff like that. You got the plátanos, Mala? No? Oh, you got no plátano?
I'm going to get there.
Okay, sweetheart. So, I mean, this is Mary, my stepdaughter. So, I mean, and she's cooking here and stuff like that. How's Anna? Is she crying? Okay, good. So I'll leave her there for a little while. I'm going to take those two pillows. That belongs to us, though. Sure. You didn't bring the other pillow that I told you to bring, but that's Mary. She's a sweet child, because she's 16. Well, how old you are, Mary? 16. 16? And so she's 16. How you say she's 16? And so she is what she is. You know what I'm saying? She's a great help sometimes and stuff like that, but I have to be tough on my kids and my stepchildren because I want them to be, good people growing up. Right, Mary? Yes. That's why I kicked, Godfrey out the other day. Okay, he's in purgatory. I mean, he's in a dungeon someplace. You understand what I'm saying? In my mind, until he shapes up or ships out. But this is the deal. That's the lowdown, okay, on my friends and what's going on and stuff like that. I mean, and I have other dear friends. I mean, Valiente is a dear friend. He was my first teacher that I had over me, in church in 1995. He's a dear friend. I have to put him in the mix and take one of these people out. Okay, is that what I'm saying? Put him as top 5. And Hermano Valiente, Brother Valiente, I mean, goodness gracious, I mean, he's just as dear to me as anybody. I'm surprised I don't put him in the pool of friends, I have to bump somebody off, out of the list. I don't know. I make a decision. Take somebody off of the top 5, and then put him number 6. You know what I'm saying? Because Valiente never gave me any problems at all. I mean, he's just and we could be years and years and years not seeing each other and stuff like that. And I was in his Bible class, and man, it'll be a hug, and it's just like you never lost track with the person. You know what I mean? You ever have friends like that? It's just incredible. So I gotta put my Hermano Valiente out of there. I gotta delete somebody from the list. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe Denise. Yeah, I gotta delete somebody. Maybe Greg. Because the Greg relationship, man, the friendship, that's hopeless, man. Once you're in a cult, once you're in a sect, a false cult, I mean, because cult, just the word itself, it doesn't mean anything bad. It just means a group of people, studying the Bible, together, What's that, water, man? Oh, where's your mother at? She wasn't there before when I went there. Well, she wasn't there. What was she doing in your mother's house? When did she come?
She had Papa
But where? I didn't see her there in the house.
and Nathan.
Oh, all right. So that's just a deal. So, I mean, throw Atian in that pool. I got to bump up maybe 2 people. You know what I'm saying? Atian came through when Mark didn't. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's just the deal. I mean, I consider her as a friend, but I mean, so I got to delete some people from the list. That's just the deal. Anyway, this is Angelo Quinones, always giving glory to God. I can't wait to see Obed when he said to somebody, I'm not going to say who, and that somebody told Riza, or she told somebody to tell Riza or whatever it was, because she doesn't live here. That person doesn't live here. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? That he wants to see me when he comes. Man, Obed, man, if you're out there, man, you could come to see me anytime, man. We'll hang out, go to the beach, go to the resorts and stuff like that. And then restaurant and hang out for a little while. And I wish I could go back with him, to California. I need a break, man. I need a break. I mean, I need, listen, I'm hurt. There's so many parts of my body that's hurt. It's not even funny. My ankle, my back. My arm is getting better though, but it's about 70%. So I need to go back to California. I mean, I hope you could take me over there. I'll go back for a little while. You know, let my wife miss me and see what's the deal. You know what I'm saying? I'll go back. I'll go back to CA. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I have to do some things with Social Security anyway and stuff like that. You know what I mean. So I'll go back. So yeah, it's up to him if I mean, I don't know his living arrangements now and stuff like that because he has a he has something on file now. Yeah. Let me get out of here because I wanna eat something. That's not platanos, right, Mara? Yeah, man, and my lunch is. Well, I can't complain. I had some stuff for breakfast, but it wasn't really weighty. You understand what I'm saying? So I can't complain. Me and my wife recently went and ate chicken outside yesterday. Jollibee is still being constructed. I mean, goodness gracious, that's not gonna be done until another like couple of months. You understand what I'm saying? It's Angelo Quinones always giving glory to God through the Lord Jesus Christ and in the Holy Spirit. You understand what I'm saying? So just take care, guys. I love you guys, and when I'm strong with you, it's because I care. It's because I care, because I see a lot of potential. I see a lot of things that you guys could do, that you guys could be better. And listen, when I need to be accountable to somebody, to me to be accountable to you, well, then listen, slap me in the face. I can take it. I not a literal one, though. I mean, But, yeah, listen, if I'm doing something wrong, you tell me about it. You understand what I'm saying? The shoe's on the other foot. It's not only me against you guys sometimes, but listen, if I'm doing something, you tell me. That's what we're here to be accountable to each other. Take care, guys. Bye. Now, where is that little circle? I can never find that circle, man. Oh, I think it's right over here. Okay, take care. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.